welcome to the Cascades here in Lissycasey, where today we're going to commemorate the men and women of the War of Independence, which was fought from 1919 to 1921. We're especially remembering the people of Lissycasey who were involved. We're here at the Cascades, which is a beautifully developed area in Lissycasey. But back in 1919 to 1921, what was here was all trees and the river at the background. There were two houses further in, one belonged to Mrs. O'D and there was another uninhabited house. And it was in that house that the men of the IRA column hid out during the War of Independence. The ladies of Cumann came and fed them there and looked after them during the time of the Troubles. It was an ideal place because it was central to the area. It was near the road in Lissycasey where the Black and Tans travelled daily from Ennis to Kilrush, and it was also near the two RIC barracks, one which was in Lissycasey village and the other which was in Caharay. So it was here that those people, those men and women stayed and were part of the history of our area. So it's a great history to have in our community, and we remember all those people with fondness today. I'm joined by PJ Kelly from Lissycasey, local historian and Clare County Councillor, and PJ is going to tell us about the War of Independence nationally and locally. So you're welcome, PJ.
Thank you, Anne. I suppose the War of Independence was a turning point after 800 years of British occupation of this country. Okay, it started in Dublin, but it took a while before it permeated down to the country. We had the 1916 in Dublin, the focal point. It spread around the country, and eventually we ended up in 21. Men and women all around the country played their role. We gave the locals. There was a major contribution locally here. Fergus Archer, John together, Cumann and the IRA. The women played a wonderful role here, and thankfully we have a history written here by the late Maria O'Rourke. She has wonderful work done, she has all the names down, shows us how the people of the parish were serving different units. We were in Mid-Clare, some of them were in with Kilmary, some of them with Ballinacally, some of them in with West Clare. All the names are here, too numerous to mention, but all worthy of mention. We'll say Erieshe were Ananam Galere. History is important. Next to the O'Rourke house here, we had a house known as the RIC barracks, known locally next to where Dante Kelly got resting used to live. And I think it was very ironic that the cook at the RIC barracks, who was taking care of the RIC people, was none other than the late Katie Collins, who was an intelligence officer for the local brigade of the IRA. So in other words, I can't see how the British slipped up. She was getting the information out, and information, of course, intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is a very essential part of success. She was able to get the information out, and offside the Brits. She was not alone. There were people, Cosura, Katie Collins, and a lot of other players around the country that played. In most strife around the world today, it's referred to the males, the men who actually are involved in the struggle. But here in Ireland, you had the men and the women. This was a very important part of the struggle, and it certainly confused the British. They weren't able to deal with that kind of a scenario. They didn't know who they were talking to, and they walked into trap after trap. The local people did wonderful work here, thankfully, and there is a commemoration to them at the community complex at the other side of the village, and hopefully in the near future that will go to mark another occasion there. They're worthy of it. We owe so much. They gave their life, they gave their time that we might live in a better world. I might say, a yeshde, Ramanan Usa. Carrie, we dealt with in the past, headlands, Decimate, the ambush over there, the incident at the church, and so on. And the many who had left the area, who had played a part, some who went to the States and never returned, some who went to Britain and never returned. On this occasion, Jenny Queen Watergalair, I would say, a yeshde, Ramanan.
Played a major role in the War of Independence in Ireland. Today we remember the 13 Lissycasey women who were members of the 2nd Battalion of Company D, Mid-Clare Commonamon. Captain Katie Collins, Decomate and O'Connell Street, Ennis. Secretary Jenny Meany Cloncoleman. Treasurer Dila Hogan, Lissycasey Upper. Nurse Mary McMahon, Lissycasey. Teresa Corrie, Lissycasey Upper. Dila Hayes, Decomate. Mary Kennedy, Cloncoleman. Maggie Pender, Brefa. Janie Burns, Brefa. Katie Cunningham, Brefa. Lena Kelly, Frore and the Irish College, Carrigaholt. Delia McMahon, Glownaganee. Margaret Donlan, Lissycasey and Mullagh.
The dreadful news through Ireland has spread from shore to shore, where such a deed no living man has ever heard before. The deeds of Cromwell in his time, I'm sure no wars could do, than those black and tans who murdered those poor youths in Killaloe.
about the civilians that died in the War of Independence in Lissycasey?
Well, unfortunately we had 3, God rest them, who died. Again, victims of the British military. We had Pat O'Rourke over the road, who was doing his work in his field. The Tans passed by. We can't explain why they did, but they actually shot him. We had at the second instance at the church, where the Tans arrived, got out of their lorry. A local man by the name of John Conlon panicked. I suppose he got afraid. I don't know. It's very hard to know what happened, but he ran up the hill west of the church. It's now McGrath's field, and he was shot dead there. Very, very sad that it did happen. There is some type of a stone memorial there at the moment for him. Then we had Andrew Wren, one of the local Wren families here in Lissycasey. He was a civil servant, court clerk down in County Limerick. He was also shot by the British forces.
Graveyard, which is in the parish of Clondigad, which is the parish of Lissycasey and Ballykelly. And we're at the graveside of Patrick O'Rourke from Lissycasey, who was shot dead in May 1921 by the British forces during the War of Independence. And I'm joined by his great-great-grandson, Michael Donnelly. And Michael lives now in the family farm where Patrick was born and raised, and where he unfortunately was shot dead tending his animals in 1921. So today we're remembering Patrick and everyone else who died in the War of Independence.
Both long ahead doth their ears to wag, the hags doth led us to wag, the quiet clear, gone clean, gone fluan, gone home, gone hain, gone praise, gone cruan.